Yo, what's going on, guys? GZTV back with another video, and in this video we are going to be discussing the last episode of Outer Banks as of now, because they have been renewed for season 4, so you can expect that coming on the channel whenever that arises. Just click the noti bell. I don't know when they're going to be doing season 4. It's probably going to be a couple of years down the line, but yeah, we've ended season 3 here. We're going to go back to watching Dexter and The Walking Dead. I know you guys are probably going to enjoy that. I think eventually we're going to start watching The Sopranos. All sorts of stuff lined up here. But yeah, let's get into this episode, Secret of the Gnomon. Episode 10 of Outer Banks Season 3 starts with John B's plane making its way to the Orinoco Basin. Actually, it's Ward's plane. The group look over their map, determining their next course of action. As for Big John, he's desperately translating, but he's only got a few hours to prove his worth to an increasingly impatient Carlos Singh. And something about this episode, it kind of fails in the fact that he uses a lot of plot convenience. But I digress. In that time, John B and the others touch down at the airport, but Sarah refuses to let her dad be part of their grand adventure. Like, no, you're not coming with us to do this. You agreed. Let us use the plane. You're not gonna do anything stupid, that sort of thing. Like her father needs to make up for his wrongdoings. John B and Key touchdown not long after, but they're a couple of hours out from the landing zone. For now, the attention is with John B and the group, who need to try and find their river guide, Jose, who Neville told them about. Him and JJ told him about while they were on the ship. As they begin asking around at the bars, they overhear a commotion upstairs, which happens to be Big John. I mean, how coincidental. I guess it's like a small part of Mexico, or wherever they're at. Is it Mexico? No, I don't think so. Why is my hair sticking up? It's pissing me off. What a massive bit of luck that John B and the others happen to be outside the exact window. Yeah, this show is very plot convenient. So, as groups are set off inside as fireworks are set off inside the house, it's enough of a distraction for Big John to get the jump on his captors and to try to escape. After being reunited, they flee through the streets and are forced to escape from seeing his goons. Sorry, guys, I didn't get a lot of sleep last night, so I'm kind of like sleep deprived, it seems like. When they finally catch a break, Big John looks over the documents that Pope has found and realizes they're legit. It could be their ticket to unlocking the treasure. And thank goodness they found them, or else they'd probably be screwed on translating the Gnomon. So does Big John lead the group to the monument? That's the next question we need to answer. I mean, down on the river, the group finally find Jose, but they also happen to find Ward too. And Ward just will not leave them alone. He's like a pest. He's just digging at them. Tensions are high between everyone, but given Singh is in the market, determined to find them, they're forced to think quickly. They actually need to, work together here, which is something they never thought they'd do. You know, they kind of despise each other. And, yeah. So Ward, pays Jose to, give them another guide and stuff. The group all scramble on board together and leave before it's too late. The group make their way to El Tesoro, where they intend to hold up for the night before pressing on in the morning. They need somewhere to lay away. John B points out that Sarah is part of their treasure hunt too, but Big John refuses to entertain that notion, pointing out he doesn't trust anyone with the name of Cameron. Well, yeah, because you've only dealt with Ward Cameron. You don't even know Sarah Cameron. You know, obviously Rafe Cameron's kind of a piece of shit. Rose Cameron kind of agrees with everything they do. And with Wheezy, she's just an innocent little kid. So not everyone with the last name Cameron is what do you call that? A traitor, you know? The group has a full day's walk, so Ward decides to hang about in El Tesoro with his flare gun, given his bad leg. You know, he got shot, I think. Did he get shot? He got stabbed, something like that. I don't remember. However, when those people found him. However, the night before, he was messing about with ringing someone in secret and turning on the navigation on his phone, so we'll have to wait to see what his true intentions are. I'm pretty sure he's trying to sabotage this whole thing. He doesn't want his daughter to get the gold. He's kind of being selfish. Even though he told his son he wants to be selfless and sell it for charity and stuff. Sarah, Big John, and John B manage to hike up to the top of a large hill overlooking the beautiful expanse below. More importantly, though, there's also the 4 columns in the distance, which is precisely where they're aiming to go, and that's where the what do they call it? The commodal or something like that. Well, when they get there, they notice a pedestal where they need to input the statue, obviously. The Gnomon, it's like a perfect little square. They do just that, and given they do it right as the full moon is about to come out, they're just in time. So now they got to figure out what the glyphs say. So the glyphs begin marking one by one, allowing them to decipher a message about the wealth of the earth, darkness, seeker, and patience. All these different glyphs are showing the location to El Dorado, but the secret of the Gnomon is going to stay that way for a while. So they're starting to decipher, they're writing down on paper what it means, all that. Big John refuses to reveal what the message says, which perhaps is just as well given Singh arrives with his goons. I mean, if he said it out loud, Singh would probably have heard them all. It turns out this was Ward's doing. Ward saw Singh showing up, told him where they were going, and yeah. He's made a deal with Carlos Singh to let himself and Sarah go safe and sound while Singh gets the treasure of El Dorado in return. Like, he'd rather... he's trying to save his daughter, so he's being a good dad here. But obviously, for the sake of the plot, he's kind of getting in the way of things. Big John refuses to let it go, claiming the treasure is up in his mind, and he's not about to give it to this crook. I mean, yeah, he's been chasing the treasure his whole life. It's pretty understandable. A gunfight does inevitably break out, with Sarah turning on her father and refusing to follow him, almost shooting him, which at that point, it's kind of getting ridiculous, but obviously we need Sarah along with for the ride. It's enough for Big John to be entrusting her as he flees with her and John B into the woods. She literally shot a gun at her own dad. Didn't hit him, but yeah. Meanwhile, back up the river and further behind, JJ and his group manage to evade a bunch of soldiers as they close in on John B and the others. This is worth noting as our protagonists find a big cave. It looks like a dead end, but Big John is convinced they're onto something here. They're reading the glyphs. The glyphs are telling them something. And that something is inside the water. Once there and finally alone, Big John reveals what that final part of the message was from before. I mean, I don't think he did this because he wanted to hold things back from the two. I think he did it because he knew that people, saying shit out loud couldn't be trusted. The true and patient seeker needs not light to see. So what does this mean? They'll find it out eventually. And now we are on the hunt for the El Dorado treasure. Will it be found? We'll see. Big John stays behind, given he's been shot, as Sarah and John B grab some flares and dive underwater, so they're going to be the ones that find the treasure. Obviously, it's not ideal for Big John, but yeah. Big John's trail of blood is enough for Singh to track him down. He's like yelling, he's trying to look for him. As he closes in on their location, John B and Sarah track down another clue, this time by shutting out the flares and watching as a hole in the cave opens up, and there's like the luminescent, like gooey stuff around it, like lights the area up. The pair are next faced with a large chasm they need to try and jump over, and the pair just about make it in one piece. It couldn't have happened any faster either, given Singh enters the cave. Again, plot convenience. John B and Sarah find the treasure of El Dorado after all and marvel at the sight of all that gold, but meanwhile, Carlos Singh is dealing with Big John, and Big John's dealing with him. When John B and Sarah return with their treasure, Singh is there waiting for them. Obviously, he had to catch up to him. There also would have been a happy story. Big John lights some dynamite and decides to blow the treasure sky high, sacrificing the greatest treasure for the love of his son. He finally lays down for his son, which is something beautiful and something we've been waiting to see this entire series. The explosion causes a cave-in, trapping Singh, but miraculously saving Sarah, Big John, and John B, who make it out in one piece without a scratch. Again, plot convenience. Ward suddenly arrives though and holds a gun up at them. Sarah, to be fair, it's justifiable. Sarah did kind of shoot a bullet at him almost. So now they gotta stop Ward. Now they gotta figure out how, they're almost getting away, but then things are getting in their way again and again. Deus Ex Machina strikes again. Though as JJ and his group show up and surround Ward, more plot convenience. Sarah talks him down, but out of the woods steps Ryan, the man working for Singh. Negative plot convenience. Ward sacrifices himself to save the others, launching off a cliff and crashing to the ground below, taking Ryan with him and taking several bullets to the gut for good measure. Plot convenience. Is Ward really dead, though? I don't know, man. That's a really good question to raise. I feel like they might bring him back in the series and do something with him, but I don't know. He's not confirmed to be dead. Obviously, Ryan died because no one really gives a damn about that character as much. Anyway, the group make it to safety, but Big John bleeds out and he succumbs to his injuries. It's a very sad death. As he loses consciousness, he tells John B that he's the best son a dad could ask for. It's a very sad moment. As he passes away, John B leaves him a lump of gold, promising to see him back home, and hopefully they buried him with that gold. So he deserved it. You know, he chased this his entire life. They bury the gold and pay the respects, while Sarah does the same for Ward, although there's still time for him to claw his way up, a la Evil Dead, reminiscent of that, you know. So how does it end? How does this season end? We then cut forward 18 months later as Pogues and Kooks join together in celebration as they close the chapter and solve the El Dorado mystery, which you never thought you'd see that, you know, the Kooks and the Pogues getting together. That's a very interesting thing. A suited man happens to be there looking over the collection, though, and he takes them aside. Who's fucking car alarm? He's found a manuscript and needs partners to help him translate and uncover the big mystery. And who does it belong to? Edward Teach, a.k.a. Blackbeard. So yeah, obviously there's another season. After seeing that, you gotta know there's gonna be another season. And we've already had our storyline pretty much laid out for us for next season. So yeah, what do I think about this? And somehow Ward returned. Does anyone really believe that Ward Cameron is actually dead? I mean, there's been several fake outs now, and while his character hasn't done very much this season, in the end he sacrifices himself to save Sarah and John B. This extended episode focuses almost exclusively on the treasure hunt, and I can't help but feel that if the rest of the season had done this, we could have had a really exciting treasure hunt. Instead, Singh's threat fizzles out completely, given he just dies inside a cave without much aplomb. While it's a suitable death for him, he basically took a leave of absence for half the season before this occurred. Where the show excels is in its action and set pieces, both of which are sandwiched between humdrum teen drama and plot contrivance galore. In the end, the conclusion hints that Season 4 is turning its attention to Blackbeard's treasure, and given we know the show has already been renewed, we thankfully don't have an agonizing wait to see if this ends inconclusively. Despite those gripes, though, there's enough here to enjoy, rounding things out with a decent enough finale to what's otherwise been a rather perfunctory season of ups and downs. I mean, yeah. The set pieces were great. I feel like it would have been really fun to shoot this show. They've gone to all sorts of dope places. You see behind the scenes stuff on like the actors' IGs and stuff. But anyways, I'm out, guys. GCTV giving you guys all the TV content. I gotta quickly get out the weekly track roundup so I can go watch the rest of the Elite Eight.